it's Mari Clarke here. I'm very excited to be here today to share with you some information about the Scrapbook and Cards Today sampler. You can actually subscribe to this sampler monthly, and each month you'll get this sweet little packet of samples of product that are for all types of paper crafting projects. I'm going to share with you today 3 different projects that I am going to make with the August sampler. And I want to tell you a little bit about the sampler. You each month will get this card inside of the packet, and on the back it tells you a little bit about the charming products, and they absolutely are, that are part of the collection. So each sampler includes products from 2 different paper crafting collections. This month in August, we received bits from the Fifth and Monaco collection from Pink Paisley, and also parts of the Kate and Ash collection from Simple Stories. And so on this card, it lists what you get from those 2 different collections. As well, this month, we got 2 different exclusive pieces, including this gorgeous stamp set from Gina K Designs. This one is called Doodle Sayings. It includes "Happy for you," "It's your birthday," "Hello friend," "How exciting," "I've been thinking about you," some stars, a flower, and some hearts, and an arrow. This is an incredible value. You can actually subscribe to the sampler for as low as $13 a month, and that includes your shipping, which is incredible value. And to get a Gina K stamp set in that $13 value is just, I think that's incredible. You also, this month for the August kit, got, if you subscribe to August, you also received this exclusive acrylic piece which says Dream, which is so sweet. You can see that it's quite thick and is going to be a really great piece on a project. Now, what I like to do when I get my sampler is I like to make little kind of project piles with it and kind of think about what kinds of projects I want to use the different products for. And so this month what I did was I decided that I wanted to make an 8x6 mini album page. I also want to create a card, and I want to make an 8.5 by 11 scrapbooking layout. So this just shows you how far you can stretch your sampler and how much you can get out of that one little packet, that sample of product. I really also, one of the major things that I love about this sampler is it gives me a glimpse of these paper crafting collections so that I then have an idea of whether or not perhaps I might want to purchase more of this collection, depending on, what projects I have in mind for the future and how I think that these collections might fit into my stash and what I have in my craft space and the projects that I have planned. So what I want to do today is show you how I'm going to create with these different products. So you'll see all of the products up close when I'm creating with them. Of course, they all came in this one August sampler. And I am going to put you on voiceover mode here, and we're going to go ahead and do some creating. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you get some inspiration, and consider subscribing to the sampler. I will leave links in the description box below to more information about the Scrapbook and Cards Today samplers. See you back. The first project that we're going to work on today is the card. And I pulled these different products here. You can see this sweet little die cut butterfly and a bunch of the 6x6 papers, including this butterfly paper. And I'm going to show you the back sides of each of these 6x6 papers as well. So pretty, so many lovely colors that can coordinate together for sure. And I really didn't have any idea of which ones I wanted to use initially. I just pulled ones that I thought might work. And now what I wanted to do was take this butterfly paper and trim it out. And so I'm just going to take my cutter bee scissors and I'm going to fussy cut around these butterflies. And I'm actually going to leave a little bit of that pink border around my little butterfly so that they actually look like they are die cuts. And these are perfect embellishments for all kinds of different projects. I actually ended up fussy cutting 9 different butterflies out of this paper. And you can also use the butterflies that are cut off on the edges of the paper as well. You can use those as layering pieces on another project too, where you just tuck that edge in underneath another paper, and there you have another little bit of embellishment. So I am going to go ahead and stick these aside on my desk. I have chosen two of those butterflies that I want to use on my card, and I think those are so sweet. They'll be the perfect embellishment for my card. Now I have some Gina K white layering cardstock here that I'm going to be using for part of my card, and I'm taking some heavy white cardstock and I'm just trimming out a card base, and this is going to be a 5.5 by 4.25 card base, an A2 size card. I'm just scoring that card base there on my scoreboard so that it is an A2 size, and just scoring it, folding it in half using my bone folder here to make a nice smooth fold in my paper. And you'll just see me there just burnishing that down. Now I'm going to take one of the pattern papers. I'm going to just mark that with my pencil and trim that out. And I'm going to use this as part of the paper for my card front. So I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz trimmer here, trim that out, and I will use some of my Gina K adhesive to stick this down. Now I am setting all of the different little extra papers that I'm not going to be using over on a separate little pile on the side of my desk. I am going to have a ton of products to use on other projects when I'm finished these 3 projects here today that I'm showing you. So now I've got that all adhered down nicely to my card base. I'm going to take that piece of Gina K layering cardstock and I'm going to trim this out as well as for another layer on my card front. So you'll just see me again taking my pencil. I'm just making a tiny little mark on my paper so that I know exactly where I want to trim this. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim that out as well, sticking those extra little trimmed pieces off to the side. Again, I will use those on other projects. And here you can just see I'm going to stick that white cardstock down onto that floral, and that floral is just going to be a nice pretty little border around my white paper. Now this really pretty tangerine colored heart tone on tone paper, or I think it's actually the hearts are a cream color on this really pretty orange. I am going to trim this out as well, and I'm going to use this as another layer on my card front. So you'll just see me here trimming this up. And what I'm going to do now is take We Are Memory Keepers scallop punch. I love this punch. It's so pretty. And I'm going to actually scallop edge one of the edges of this orange paper. I decided I wanted to just trim it down a little wee bit. It's a little bit too wide. And now I'll just punch that one edge and it's just going to create a really pretty border on that paper. And here you can see my idea coming together. I've just taken a little bit of gold twine from my stash and tied it around that orange piece of paper at the bottom. And now I'm just going to go ahead and take my little butterflies and adhere them down. The first butterfly I just adhered flat, and the second one I'm going to pop up on some scrapbook adhesives, foam adhesive, and just get that so that it has some dimension. I'm just going to take the tops of that little butterfly wing area and just fold it up a little bit, give it some dimension as well. And now I'm going to take 2 of the Gina K sentiments from the Doodle Sayings stamp set. I'm going to stamp out a couple of sentiments. I'm only going to use one, but I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use initially, so I stamped 2 while I was stamping them. So I put them onto my Misty window, stamped them out with some VersaFine Onyx black ink onto some white cardstock. And that'll just be just a really nice crisp sentiment for my card. Now you can see here how I've trimmed this out with a circle punch. And now I took another circle punch that is a little bit larger than that first one, cut a little circle out of my floral paper, and I'm going to layer those up just with a little bit of foam adhesive again as the sentiment for my card. And that is going to be it. The card will soon be finished, and I love how this turned out. It's super cute, and honestly, I have enough products left over with my sampler when I'm all done today with my 3 projects. I can make many, many more cards, and that's the beauty of having a stamp set. You can just keep using that stamp set, stamp it out, make as many cards as you want with that stamp set. So here you can just see I am going to adhere that down. It's going to be really nice and dimensional. And actually I did end up adding one more little bit of element to my card to jazz it up a little bit more. I'm going to take those little pearl stickers from this sticker sheet here, and add those three little pearls to my card. I'm going to add 2 above the sentiment and 1 below. And I really love how that finished it off. I think it's perfection. I love having all of these little bits and pieces that you can use. And that is such a great thing about this sampler. There's so many little bits that you can use. So you can see that finished card is all done. Just like that. It did not take me long to make this. And there's tons of room inside for a nice little handwritten sentiment to the recipient. Now on to my 8x6 album page. I am just going to show you here the pattern papers that I considered using for this page, and you can see front and back. These are really sweet papers, lots of options here. And I really love this 4x6 cut apart paper that says sprinkle sass like confetti. I think it's so cute. And that was kind of the inspiration for choosing a photo and kind of like what I wanted to do here. So I have this small 2x2 photo here of my daughter. This is a picture of her with her very first cell phone, and I thought this was perfect for this little layout. So I've taken some pink cardstock from my stash and I have cut it down to 8x6. And now I'm going to start building the rest of my little layout here. I love this animal print paper. I think it's adorable and obviously totally in style or very timely. People are loving their animal print right now. And I thought it was perfect for a project for a young person. So in this case, this picture of my daughter where I'm documenting when she got her first cell phone. I took some more of that floral paper that I used that was left over from my card, and I'm going to use that as a little bit of a strip over here on this project as well. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to make all of these foam pieces work from Kate and Ash, but I knew that I definitely wanted to use some of them. And I love this little die cut piece that says #TeenLife. I think Bailey was about 14 when she got her first cell phone, and I just thought, yeah, got to use that. That works so well here. And I just love how that little circle die cut piece with the hearts is going to embellish the left side of that area there where I'm putting some of those other little pieces on. Now, some of these little die cut bits I'm not going to use on this project. I'm just showing you. I'm going to have all of those left over for another project. And these 2x2 cut aparts are perfect for embellishing, and I'm going to set those aside as well. Those will also be for another project. I cut a strip off of that animal print paper, and I'm going to use that along the right side of my 4x6 card. And now you can just see here, I'm just thinking about where I'm going to layer these other pieces and how I'm going to use them on this project. I had a general idea from where I had placed them before, but now you can see I'm committing. I'm actually getting things stuck down and trying to decide precisely where I want to put things. Going back to my scrapbook adhesive, foam adhesive again. I love using foam adhesive on my projects when I'm layering to pop things up and give them some nice dimension. And you can just see how this is going to come together beautifully. Again, using some more of that foam adhesive on some of my embellishments just to pop them up. So that little black circle with the hearts there. And then this is where I wanted my photo to go. The little Wi-Fi symbol is going to go above the photo, and this little OMG exclamation mark. Now, I don't end up using the happy piece here just because it didn't fit. I couldn't make it work, but that's fine because I have lots of other things that I can use on another project. And in fact, I probably will use all of those bits, the 2x2 cut apart, this happy, some of those other pieces from Kate and Ash on a page that's going to be opposing this in the album. So on the other side of this double page spread, I will definitely be using those other bits that are left over. So I'm just, again, trying to decide where I'm going to put these different things and just really committing to getting everything stuck down. Now, I did go ahead and type out some journaling on my vintage typewriter, and I just typed out a couple of lines of journaling. It says, first cell phone in 2008, excited for T9 word. And we actually just were reminiscing not too long ago about when the kids got their first cell phones and talking about T9 word, and just it was quite a funny conversation actually. And my husband and I were talking about our first cell phone, which was one of those bag phones from back in the day. I think it was a Nokia bag phone or something like that. So lots of laughs, and it was just really fun going ahead and documenting this photo. Now I am going to create a photo mat out of that really pretty mint paper with a cream dot. And so I just used my pencil to measure out where I wanted to trim that, trimmed it up, and now I'm going to pop the photo up on some adhesive as well and get that stuck down. So I really like how that really brings your attention to the photo. I'm going to place the OMG just underneath the photo as I had planned, just making sure I have it placed where I want it. And I'm just using my tweezers to go ahead and help me get that placed in the spot where I want it to go. And then I'll just have that Wi-Fi symbol to put above the photo. And this little 8x6 layout is going to be finished. So that will be 2 projects with our sampler that will be all done. I really love how this turned out. It's super cute. And I did want to just show you, and I'm going to show you this right away in a minute, how this fits into an 8x6 pocket page for a mini album. I'm going to just take my fine line bottle here and glue down my journaling strips quickly, and this will be all finished up. So really love how this turned out. Super fun. And I had so much fun creating this. And it's always fun thinking back at when you're documenting a memory like this. I feel like it's so cool. Now you can just see how this is going to fit beautifully into this 8x6 page protector. And voila, it is all done. So I'm just going to show you, there's our 2 projects so far, the card and our 8x6. Now I'm going to move on to an 8.5 by 11 project. I've just grabbed a piece of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock from my stash. And I am going to be using this really beautiful chevron stripe paper, this black and white. I don't end up using this particular paper, but it's just ripe for fussy cutting for another project. And I will be fussy cutting that really pretty pink floral paper. Here are some puffy phrase stickers that we're going to consider using, and some other little bits that we can use as layering pieces or title pieces. Love all of these different little embellishments, this die cut floral, this sweet word, and then of course that beautiful acrylic piece, Dream. I have this leaf piece that's I have pulled out and ready to go, and this label just in case I want that. This is just such a gorgeous die cut piece and will be perfect for this specific layout. And of course those little rhinestones, and this little pair of sneakers I'm going to set aside for another one of my 8x6 album projects. Now this is the photo. It's a 4x3 wedding photo of my daughter and her husband, and so I'm going to be using that today for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and take my trimmer. I'm going to trim out these strips of paper, and I'm going to be using these on the left side of my project today in a vertical line. So I always love creating a layout with a vertical line for some reason. I think it's just, I don't know what it is. I think it's because I really love using a 4x3 portrait photo. And so this type of justification or design is just perfect for that type of photo. So I'm going to use those vertical strips on the left side and then build my layout from there. So I definitely wanted to use that floral piece on one of the corners. I really love this always and forever. I think it's just perfect for a wedding photo, and I wanted to try to make that work on the layout as well. So at this point, I'm just kind of putting things down, moving things around again before I commit to sticking them down, just kind of getting an idea of how this is going to work. And I like the idea of having a horizontal line that's going to be joining up with that vertical there on the left to create sort of like a little niche for my photo to sit into. So here you can see I've got that die cut piece, which is perfect. It says today was absolutely incredible. And there's a great spot there to do some handwritten journaling on that piece as well. So my title for this one so far, I'm thinking is going to be Sweet Dream. I do end up adding to that, but at this point, that's what I'm thinking. And this gorgeous paper from Fifth and Monaco is just like, oh, it's everything. I love it. And it's perfect for fussy cutting. So there you can see I've stuck that one floral, or my plan is to use that one fussy cut floral piece on the left and then the die cut piece. And here you can see I just borrowed some letters from that puffy phrase sheet that says Our, and I'm going to use the title Our Sweet Dream. And then of course my plan is to journal in that space on the die cut piece. And I want to use these rhinestones to embellish with as well. Now I decided I wanted to pop my photo up on some foam again and put it onto this black and white stripe paper, which I love. I love a black and white stripe. So versatile, so many things you can do with it. And I just thought it would be perfect for matting this photo. So I'm going to go ahead and mat my black and white photo with this striped paper. Get this all trimmed out, and this will be it'll just really be obviously the focus of this layout, and I think it really draws your attention to that photo even more. So here you can see I have everything stuck down now. I'm ready to do the journaling on that die cut piece. I've got all of the little bits and pieces of fussy cut floral stuck down, and the little green rhinestones around my other little embellishments just to finish off the layout. These are all of my projects with my sampler. I love my sampler, guys. I am going to be visiting you here on Scrapbook and Cards Today on YouTube each month to give you some inspiration as to how you can go ahead and use your sampler. And I am going to leave links, like I said before, in the description box below to how you can find the sampler on the Scrapbook and Cards Today website and take a look at the subscription and how you can go ahead and sign up. I love the sampler. I think it's genius. Have an amazing day, guys. Stay safe, and I will be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.